Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by now. Here's JP.
Oh, a hearty good Tuesday morning to you, and welcome into another edition of the JP Peterson Show. We got bad injury news for the Buccaneers. That's not good. I'm not sure it's wiping away the good feelings of week one, but it's not good as they get ready to take on the Lions. We'll get to that. Scott Reynolds is going to join us at 10:30 from the Pewter Report. TJ Reeves will join us in our second hour, Bucs sideline guy, and my good buddy Eric Steele, whose son played at Alabama on Saturday in front of 100,000 folks. We'll get a little USF perspective from someone who went to the game and have a proud papa moment. Just have some fun with that. Good morning to you, Tim Ham from our DSP affiliate in Dallas, and Cowboys are 1-0. How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a impressive performance. I didn't expect that out of the Cowboys or out of the Browns. That was ugly. But I got to inform everybody there's an update to the injury list this morning, because I had to submit my name to the NFL.
What happened?
I woke up in the middle of the night, one of the several, 7 or 8 times that I do to get up to go pee, JP, when you get to be our age. You know, that's kind of how it is. And apparently walking back into my room from my master suite bathroom, I kicked the door jamb of my bathroom, because I don't turn lights on. I go half asleep, right? I don't even hardly wake up when I do that. I'm on autopilot.
Yeah, of course.
I woke up this morning to excruciating pain in my foot, and I pull the covers back and I look at my pinky toe on my right foot, and it's facing this way.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And
I'm freaking hurting right now. I popped about 8 ibuprofen and a couple of Tylenol.
You did it that bad?
Yeah.
Like
and I didn't even know it when I did it. Like, I woke up and it was hurting, and I was like,
headed on the off ramp. It's just to the off ramp.
It's taking the exit to the right. Yeah.
Isn't it funny how like such a small little part of your body can just create? You can't walk. You can't do it because your balance is off. You can't do anything. Oh, I'm sorry,
it's rough, man.
Well, we got lots of guests today, so you can take a break when Scott's on and go lay down, put your foot up, do whatever you got to do. But you're gonna have to sit through the first half hour of me bitching and moaning about injuries. By the way, we got the body.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we got the body cam footage from the Tyreek Hill episode. Very interesting, and all the reactions going on to that. Of course, we'll talk about that. And I got a Falcons fan. Have you seen this yet? I posted it yesterday. Oh my God. It's so funny. Like, I might want to just start with that because it's so freaking funny, and just get the show off to a roaring start. Why not? So I got it here. So before we get, let me get to the Anton Winfield Jr. stuff. This is a bit of a mystery injury to the All-Pro safety. Happened with 2 plays to go in the game, and he injured his foot or ankle. There'd be not a whole lot of details on this, except he's probably going to be out 2 to 4 weeks. So I don't know if it's what exactly is going on here, but he's not going to play this week against the Lions. The Bucs are down 4 corners. We don't know about Zion McCollum, who had a concussion in the game, so we probably won't know about that until Friday. Josh Hayes, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to step up and play. I would guess, Todd Bowles said this, if they need to, they're going to work out a couple of corners this week. So, here comes freaking Lions with Jameson Williams, who now has become a target for Goff with just blazing speed. And obviously I'm on Ross St. Brown. They've got, Jared Goff. This is a team that has torched the Bucs from the passing game situation. We saw that in the championship game or the playoff game. This is going to be a tough ask for this Buccaneers team to go up there. And all it means is that they're going to have to score points. So you have to score a lot of points against this Lions defense, which didn't look great against the Rams, did not look great. And, of course, they have Carlton Davis, so we know there's a weak spot right there. Just throw it to him early, have him drop it, and they'll go in the tank the rest of the game. I don't mean to be disrespectful for Carlton. We love him, but that's a weak spot. There's no question about it. So if the Bucs can turn this into a bit of a track meet, I think it's going to be tough for them defensively to keep up with this Detroit Lions offense, which is absolutely loaded. Singletary running like a madman. It's tough. It's going to be tough, but we'll see. You go up there. It's not one that you circled on the schedule and said this is a W. At least not for me. It's always been an L for me on the road at Detroit. It's a tough ask, but who knows? I think this Bucs offense is good enough to. And it was, they left a lot of points on the board. They scored 37, and I know it's the Commanders, but they left a lot of points on the board. Dumb penalties cost them first downs, drop passes by Jalen McMillan. That's a touchdown. Baker missed him another time. That was a touchdown that turned into a field goal. So I would say they left maybe 14, 17 points on the board very easily. Very impressed with the way they ran their offense even more. Graham Barton, and we'll hear from Brian Baldinger, who did a little breakdown on him. I'm going to play that video as well. Just really, really, really good stuff from the Buccaneers. So you never know. They're 7-point underdogs. They can go up there and take care of business. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be a great atmosphere. But we'll kind of go through the day and talk a little bit more about Buccaneers when we get on with Scott Reynolds. So just for fun, Timmy, your toe hurts. It won't hurt much after this. So I think this is just pretty much an unidentified Falcon fan. And again, not safe for work. If you got kids around,
right?
Put your earbuds in. There's a lot of F-bombs in this, but we can do this now. So do we need to set it up? Falcons fan, all the Falcons shit over the offseason that we had to, we're all like, oh, well, believe it when we see it. Kirk Cousins, woo, yeah, 35 years old, coming off an Achilles injury, woo. They look like crap. He can't even move. Like, he can't move. He can't move. Wasted first round. Not wasted. Michael Penix. But all that money you gave to Kirk Cousins, you could have spent on an edge rusher and Danielle Hunter and gone out and got another corner. I mean, another defensive lineman. All that money you spent, you're locked into that. What, for 3 years for Kirk Cousins? Absolutely handicaps your franchise. Could have used that first round pick on some. I mean, there's so many things the Falcons have done right, not just in this draft, but over the last couple of years that they could have done to make their team better, and they have whiffed. They have whiffed in every sense. They didn't take a quarterback when they needed to take a quarterback. Then they took a quarterback when they didn't need to take a quarterback. They spent money on a quarterback they didn't need to spend. I mean, thank God. The gift that keeps on giving, the front office of the Atlanta Falcons. And my man, I don't exactly know his name, but my man is had enough as a Falcon fan. Enjoy Buccaneers fans.
When I say I'm sick of this shit, I'm talking about every motherfucking year. Every motherfucking Sunday. I set myself up for failure every goddamn year thinking some shit gonna be different, and ain't nothing ever motherfucking different. And I'm sick of this shit, man, for real. This shit old. Ain't no way in fuck we done paid Kirk Cousins all this motherfucking money just to look like the same motherfucking team we look like the last 2 motherfucking years, man. For real. Bitch, we gave you all this motherfucking money. You supposed to come in there slanging this motherfucker. Bitch, you look just like Heineken. Hell, you look just like Heineken. Shit, you look just like motherfucker. Bitch, at first, I was rubbing my... Like, bitch, I know goddamn well that ain't Damon Ritter still behind. I could have sworn we've got that boy. Damon Ritter. Look here, man. Offensive line can't motherfucking block no goddamn body or nothing. Kirk Cousins one-legged bitch, one foot bitch. He can't goddamn move. Man, fuck. Put Penix in the motherfucking game. Fuck this shit. I'm through with Kirk Cousins. I don't care. Put Penix in him. Arthur Blank, your chicken biscuit nose ass bitch. Sick of your ass too. For real, need to get your old ass up out of there too. God damn. Boy, let me get a boy. Boy, I'm just mad. Fuck this shit. I don't give a fuck.
He was going to general manager and he said, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, put me in. Nah, I can't do that.
Put me in, coach. Oh my God.
I ain't got time for all that.
You know what? I feel like you could have substituted Cowboys for Falcons on any given Sunday. And there's 1,000 Cowboys fans that put those same videos out after every loss. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Arthur Blank, you chicken nose ass bitch.
Chicken biscuit.
A chicken biscuit.
Oh my God, dude!
See, I told you that would set the stage for a great show, wouldn't it? And you know, listen, I worked in Atlanta for 2 years. That's exactly how every Falcon fan thinks. Every one of them. I mean, listen, they still got a good roster. Raheem will find a way for them to win some games. But it's not the juggernaut that we thought. There's some thought. Now, we didn't think that.
I didn't
some
think
thought that it was going to be. And this is lasting. And this is what I'm talking about. This is lasting. They could have done – you look what the Panthers did in the trade for Bryce Young. I mean, that was just a disaster. Like, who gets paid to think that guy was going to be a great NFL quarterback at his size and his situation he had at Alabama? I mean, like, how do you waste all of that capital? I mean, if it's Trevor Lawrence or it's even Caleb Williams, even though I think he freelanced so much in college, it's going to take a long time. But at least those guys, you could say, okay, they got a chance to be great quarterbacks. They got the size, they got the ability, they can run, they can throw, they could do everything. They check all the boxes, like all the boxes. Yeah. There is no doubt about in terms of their physical ability. I mean, Bryce Young, you're like, what? Well, maybe he's a maybe, but you give up Caleb Williams, the first pick, which turns into Caleb Williams. You give up a second-round pick. You give up DJ Moore and 3 other starters for Bryce Young. Like, what an awesome front office you are, Carolina Panthers. Great job. And the Atlanta Falcons, you're just as bad. You're just as bad. And I'm forgive me if I'm not going to believe in the Saints just yet. I think that's more how bad the Panthers are than how good the Saints are. All right.
I don't know, man. Derek Carr, look, I'm a Saints fan, but I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm a realist Saints fan, and this is a bad team. They're going to finish last in the South. But, dude, Derek Carr looked really, really good for one day. And it was fun to watch. But it ain't going to last.
No, it's not going to last.
It won't last.
So, I mean, after week 1, I feel really good about where the Bucs are. And listen, the injuries defensively bother me. Kalijah can't see that thing that flared up on Friday. And maybe the Bucs are just being super cautious here. And we didn't really, we don't feel like we need them against the Commanders, and they didn't. I mean, they could have used them chasing down Jaden Daniels, but they said, you know what, let's just give him a week. So that worked. And hopefully he can get back in there because they're going to need him the rest of the way. Injuries concern, but this is the only thing that's going to derail this team. It can derail any team in the NFL or injuries, especially when you get hammered at one spot like corner. So, but as Todd Bowles mentioned in yesterday's press conference, a few years ago, they brought in Pierre Desir and a couple other guys off the street one week, and they played really, really well. I mean, Todd got them to play really, really well. I think Desir even had a pick or something. It was crazy.
Right.
You can go find guys and coach them up and go conservative and say, we're going to play a lot of zone. Now a good team like the Lions and Jared Goff, they'll eat you alive. But again, go out and score points. You got an offense that's explosive. That was clearly being held back by Dave Canales last year. Liam Cohen is just scratching the surface of what this offense could be, except, like I said, 37 points. You scored on 7 of 8 possessions, scored on your first 5 possessions, and you had multiple penalties offensively that really hampered you and drops and a couple of misses by Baker, or they're scoring 50 points. So, that after week 1, minus the injuries, I don't think you can be any more pleased than you, right now what you're looking at with the Bucs. What were your thoughts? You saw the game, Timmy.
No, and I thought Tampa looked about like I thought they would. I won't say they're in mid-season form yet, but I thought, at least Baker and the receivers were on the same page. I was a little impressed with the play calling, especially given certain game situations. I thought the play calling went well. But, consider the opponent. And we do this in college football too, the September Heisman. We like to give that out. And it's the same thing with in the NFL after week 1. Look, Aaron Rodgers lost in week 1. He loses in week 1 almost all the time, right? So the Jets are going to be fine. I know we're getting into Jets talk here in a little bit too, but I was impressed with Jaden Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
I know they didn't win. I was highly impressed with Jaden Daniels.
He's going to be good.
He's going to be good. Keep in mind, too, everybody's comparing Jaden Daniels to, C.J. Stroud and other rookies around the league and how they perform. Keep in mind that the Houston Texans were like in year 3 of their rebuild by the time C.J. Stroud got there. They already had some pieces in place. Washington's in year 1. And, yeah. And all the draft picks and everything. So, Washington's in year 1. New ownership group, entirely new coaching staff. I know C.J. dealt with that last year, too. But I think he's going to be fine. Caleb Williams, dude, I laughed almost through that entire game.
Yeah.
Dude is clueless.
Yep.
And how he was at all taking credit for any part of that win and he was, by the way, is beyond me. Yes. Yeah, he said, we went out there, we played lights out, the defense helped keep us in the game. No, the defense won the game for you, a-hole.
Special teams. You were awful.
Special team, yes. He was awful, dude.
I think I saw a stat where in the history of the NFL, if you're down 2 scores at halftime and your offense does not score, the teams were 2 and 336. Now they're 3 and 337. That's how,
Well, and what sucks more for the record books is now Caleb Williams is getting credit for a win in his first ever NFL start, which never happens, right? And everybody, they were asking him that about the game. They're like, oh, you know what? You got a win in your first career NFL start as a rookie.
I think it had been like 14-1, right? Since then, right?
Yes.
In opener.
And he's like,
the one who gets the W for that.
I'm like, dude, go paint your nails and get a whatever facial or something, whatever you do. Yeah. But I'm not impressed.
Did he go cry to his mom after the game?
No, because they won. Why is he crying? He was all happy because he got credit for a win.
Right.
Kirk Cousins and the Falcons, dude, they're a train wreck, just like you and I predicted on this show all of the offseason. There's no possible way they're going to win the NFC South. And I'd like to go in. I haven't looked yet to see if the numbers have changed now for the favorite to win the NFC South. It's got to be Tampa. It's got to be Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I don't care what New Orleans look like. That is not sustainable. They don't have a head coach. They played the Panthers, for God's sake. So
the Panthers are going to be bad. Dave Canales is a nice guy, but he had no business getting that job. When I heard he got that job, I was like, oh,
he's in trouble.
Okay. All
he might not make the season, dude. He might not make it to the end of the season the way that.
Well, how many coaches is Tepper going to be paying? Like 5?
All at the same time, right?
Jesus.
Yeah. Going to go dig up Ditka?
Ditka. Maybe.
Oh my God.
They're in trouble. The Carolina Panthers are in trouble, and thank God we have two games against them late in the season, it's going to be huge for the Bucs. So yeah, I thought great opening salvo for the Bucs, and they're just going to get better. Hopefully, injuries won't derail them. What about your Cowboys? I wanted to hear you give me a little bit on the Cowboys. Cleveland.
How about them Cowboys?
Jesus, I thought Cleveland was going to win that game, but just defensively, just bludgeon them. What happened to the Cleveland defense and Dak getting his money and then the offense? I didn't watch the game, but I heard Brady was really choppy in the game.
Man, I think I posted on X, like about halfway through the game. I said, I think we finally found something Tom Brady's not good at. Finally.
Is that bad, huh?
And he'll get better. I didn't like Troy when he first started calling games. I thought he was terrible. Yeah. And I think Troy's great now. It didn't take him long to catch on, and you could tell there was some nerves there with him. Kevin Burkhardt is one of my favorite play-by-play guys. He has been for a long, long time, and he helped Brady through it a lot. They have a really good chemistry. They have good back and forth, so that helps. But I think Brady will get better. We just need to give him some time, and people are going to make fun of him, and that's fine. He doesn't deserve it, but that's what people do to people who are really good, right, at what they do. So, but man, yeah, I really thought the Browns were going to win this game, but I think I was giving Deshaun Watson way too much credit that he remembered how to play football, because he got rattled early in that game. He got rattled often in that game, sacked 6 times. And dude, he had no chance. He was running for his life on every play. I thought the Browns
had a good offensive line.
Well, they're missing their 2 tackles. Both of their starting right and left tackles were gone.
Right, yeah.
Wills and Conklin are gone. They were starting, young guys there. And, with the salary cap situation, your backups are never as good as the starters, obviously. They had issues there, and Watson just was hurrying every throw. He just looked super uncomfortable. And I'll tell you, I thought that the Browns defense played pretty well for game 1 of the season. But, man, Dak was beating the blitzes. He knew exactly where to go. Talk about that might be the best prepared I've seen Dak play in a football game in a long time, because he knew exactly where the blitzes were coming from. He could read them perfectly, and he was beating it with the throws into the blitzes. And that first touchdown pass that he threw to Brandon Cooks in the corner of the end zone, Cooks didn't have anybody within 15 yards of him.
Yeah.
And that was against the blitz. Man, it was a dart, man. It was perfect. And credit the Browns defense, but they didn't have anybody last year that scored more than 25 points against them at home all year. And the Cowboys come in game one and ring up 33. So, again, they're the Cowboys. They're going to cowboy. I want to see him against a good team.
Indeed they are. I want to get this in too before we get to Scott. This is Brian Baldinger. Or let's hit the Jets real quick last night. Jets and the 49ers. First of all, 49ers. Boy, I had a nice parlay going last night. I need a little bit more Brandon Ayuk, but I bet under on everything Aaron Rodgers. I didn't think he was ready to play, especially after seeing Cousins coming off of an Achilles, right? And now, of course, his happened a lot earlier than Cousins by about 2 months, I think, or maybe 6 weeks. But I didn't think Aaron looked good moving around last night. I thought he looked choppy, not fluid at all. The 49ers are just freaking loaded. I mean, they're just low. Their defense is so physical, and their running game, did not miss a beat. Maybe Christian McCaffrey is not all that great.
Overrated, right? Look at Jordan Mason, dude. 147 yards on 28 carries.
Jesus criminy. Yeah, that was impressive.
Everybody's like, who's Jordan Mason?
Yeah.
He was undrafted, dude. He's undrafted.
Yeah, and the Shanahan finds those guys all the time. And maybe it's not the running back. Hey, gaping hole, head for that one.
Yeah.
But the kid ran well. He ran really, really well. So impressive performance by the 49ers. The Jets are nothing special. I don't see anything special in the Jets. Do you?
No, I thought their defense was going to be better than it is, and it's average at best.
Good. Yeah,
average at best. I mean, you allowed 180 yards on the ground.
Yeah,
hell, Deebo Samuel had 8 carries too. So they're obviously trying to pound that defense on the ground and expose them a little bit, and I think they did. Man, I'm not scared. Not that I ever was. I'm not scared of Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Aaron Rodgers probably won't make it through the year.
And Hassan Reddick is sitting up there saying, "You need me now? You need me now? How about now? Now?"
Man,
so we'll see if the Jets get off their wallet. Yeah, if the Jets are going to do anything this year, they got to have him. That defense was poor last night. All right, enough of that. Here we go. This is Brian Baldinger, does a lot of great breakdowns. It's a little extensive here, but it's him talking about the Bucs offensive line and specifically Graham Barton, who of course we have been raving about since the draft. First time I looked at film on this cat at Duke, I was like, wow, this is impressive. This kid is big. He is fast. He is obviously super athletic. His technique is fantastic. And I can't wait to see, and as bad as the Bucs were at center, what a huge upgrade it could be. So let's listen to a guy who knows a lot more than me, though.
As good as Baker was yesterday, the offensive line was just as good. And it starts with Graham Barton. Cody Mock right here, passing this stunt. Baker making these throws like he's at Clearwater Beach. All right, now, you watch this athleticism of Barton. This offensive line now, suddenly, they could get to the perimeter. And like that hook block on Bobby Wagner, a Hall of Famer, all the way to the other side of the field so that Rashad White can go for 8. Like, you watch this right here. Watch this combo block. Like, he's on the hip right here. Look what they're doing with Bredeson right now. Now you come off and you block Louvu, and there goes Bucky Irving.
Wow.
Led the team in rushing with 69 yards. Why, he's a second-level specialist. Watch him get to the second level to block Wagner, and there goes Rashad White. Like, the Bucs got a running game. And then slide protection. This isn't any better. Right here, Baker sees the blitz coming off the edge. So slide protection. 1, 2, here comes the blitz. Look at Baker, back at Clearwater Beach. He might have been throwing a frisbee
on there.
Like it was one good throw after another. But this perimeter play just opens up everything in the offense. And it's like all of a sudden, Wirfs, Barton, Mock, like now they're downfield. Now they're picking guys off, and you're getting these screen plays like this that go for 32 yards. Watch this twist stunt inside. Watch this bump. You don't leave your man until you get the bump. Now you get the bump. Now you go. Now, look at
that.
this.
Look at that.
Throwing frisbees at Clearwater. How about the rookie? Jalen McMillan, Bucky Irving, Graham Barton. What a day for the rookie class of the Buccaneers.
That was my takeaway from the whole day.
This is Deron Payne. He makes $100 million. Like, look at this hook block. Like, just stay right in his grill. Rashad White will find the daylight.
Wow. Look at that.
It was a nice day for Graham Barton yesterday and this Bucs offensive line. Great day up front.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is why I've just been raving about this kid, man. You saw it in practice. You saw it on the film. And then, he goes out and does it. And I talked to him after the game. And I was saying, even with a guy like that, who's a first-round pick, he's 6'3", 315 pounds. He's not fat. Even a guy like that, as strong as he is, he's a killer in the weight room. And I said, you never know until you get the live bullets. And you went up against two of the best today. Physically, how did you feel? And he's like, not in a bragging type of way. He goes, I felt like I belong. I can, I felt like I can belong. I can handle this, because that's always in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
But the NFL is a different level, and that, and especially physically. And against those two guys is as good as you're going to get. He's not going to play against a tandem that's better than that in this league. And he not only did he hold up, he played really, really well. And that, to me, is just, that means, like Baldy said, you got a running game now. You got a running game, and you got, they threw a lot at him. They threw a lot of twists at him. They threw a lot of stunts at him. They threw a lot of double-A gap blitzes at him. And he really did well. The entire interior line is so much better this year than it was last year. That is such a winning edge for the Buccaneers. And like I've said many, many times, this line they're puppies. They're puppies. Mock in his second year, Gedeke in his third year. Yep. Wirfs is in his fifth year. And I really feel, and Graham obviously is a rookie, and I think Elijah Klein is going to take that left guard job eventually. I think he's going to be really good. You got a young offensive. Look what the Cowboys, remember when the Cowboys had that offensive line? They ripped off 3 Super Bowls and back in the 90s. And that would, you can look at all the stars you want, but that freaking offensive line was one of the best in the history of the game. And they played together for how many years? Yep. They were name all those guys.
Hall of Famers too, along that line.
Yeah, my favorite guy, Nate Newton, the kitchen at left guard. The center was oh, come on, you got to give me all these names. They were just
Mark Stepnoski.
At
center, he had Mark Tuanay.
Oh, my
Eric
God.
Williams.
Yeah, Eric Williams.
Yeah, no, dude.
Yeah, they were loads. And
Mark Stepnoski was by far the smallest guy at center. But maybe one of the strongest too.
Oh, he was, and that that can pave the way to so much success in this league. So awesome stuff. Great start for the Bucs, and that's sustainable. That running game is sustainable.
I mean, it's a 1,000-yard rusher for sure this year, right? Either Bucky or Rashad. I know you don't care about that.
I hope they both get 700.
You don't care about that, but I think it would be fun for the team though to boast that, because it's been 2015. I think was the last year they had one of those. So,
all right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Scott Reynolds is going to join us, and we'll ask him Bucky or Shad. Bucky or Shad. I don't think it matters, but whatever. It's good for the Buccaneers. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawgroup.com. Scott Jeeves will be joining us later in the week to talk a little Gator football. And if you have any legal issues whatsoever, the Jeeves Law Group will hook you up. They'll either take care of it for you or refer you to a very, very good attorney. So get a free case evaluation. Just go to their website, JeevesLawGroup.com, JEEVESLawgroup.com. Yeah, you can email them, set something up, or call them. Very easy to do. It's JeevesLawGroup.com. Back in 3 with Scott Reynolds. Celebrate August with the dazzling green hue of Peridot, known for its vibrant and refreshing sparkle. Yes, that's the birthstone of August at the Gold and Diamond Source. Explore the Gold and Diamond Source's stunning collection of Peridot jewelry, showcasing the gemstone's unique glow and versatility in rings, necklaces, and earrings. Peridot's distinctive color makes it a standout choice for any occasion, adding a touch of elegance and charm to your ensemble. Enjoy 15% off when you shop August Gems online only. Stop by the Gold and Diamond Source to experience the allure of August Gem and let their expert staff help you find the perfect Peridot piece. It's the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmsted Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the JP Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance, make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right, that's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Wow, we got big numbers today. Everybody tuning in. Thank you guys so much for jumping on with us here, probably because of our great guest list that we have today. We're brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Just go right to the website. Easy to get an appointment. Make Chris Lugo your primary care physician, as I have done, Scott Reynolds has done, and many others have done, to give you the needed time and the personal attention you so richly deserve. It's Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. All right, let's welcome in the aforementioned Scott Reynolds from the Pewter Report. Good morning to you, my friend, and all I can say is week 1 was a phenomenal week for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A great start.
Yeah.
No How are you, my friend?
Good. Doing good, guys. Happy to talk about this week 1 win, which we forecasted at Pewter Report. We all picked the Bucs. Surprise.
Well done.
Yeah. I mean, kind of easy. Commanders are in a rebuild. Tampa Bay should be, in a reload situation with the draft class coming in, and we saw some immediate dividends. Graham Barton, Bucky Irving, Jalen McMillan, Chris Braswell, all getting some playing time, and certainly, who am I forgetting? Tyke Smith, also the nickel corner. Yeah, so
I thought he played pretty well too, except for that penalty. Played really, really well. That was kind of, one of my big takeaways, Scott, was the rookie class, and and you've covered this team longer than I have, actually, both fossils that we are. But I can't remember a draft class where 5 guys had significant playing time in week 1. And they actually played well and won the game. Now, there have been some crappy Bucs teams, I'm sure, that threw their rookies out there.
Yeah.
But these guys had a huge impact in a dominating win. That's very, very rare to see.
They did. And here's the crazy thing. This is a 10-win team from a year ago.
I know.
This team won 9 games in the regular season. They beat the Eagles in the playoffs.
Great point.
And so to have as many holes as they did, and you really can't consider them holes. Hainsey was an okay center. They just leveled up. Izzian was an okay nickel. They just leveled up, right? I mean, Trey Palmer was an okay wide receiver 3. They leveled up with McMillan. So it's just a tribute to Jason Light, John Spytek, Mike Beal, the scouting department for finding guys that have the talent to come in and unseat some of those players to actually have that level up scenario, and then to have the maturity to come in and not have the moment be too big for them and play well in week 1.
We just played the Baldy breakdown of Graham Barton, and we've been raving about him.
So
and when I went to practice and saw him, and the feet and the technique, and I was like, wow, this kid is going to be special. But you still never know if it's going to translate into a real NFL football game with the power and the speed. And he went up against 2 of the best, and
he did.
Not only did he hold his own, bro, he played great. I think of anything in this game that I saw, maybe the Bucky.
Don't tell that to Pro Football Focus.
What did they give him?
He was the 5th worst Buccaneer on offense.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
As much as I want to like Pro Football
Holy
Focus.
Crap. Come on.
It's like, God.
So flawed.
It really is.
What are you watching?
It's like, you're going through the grades. You're like, good. And then it's like the one obvious complete F up that, like, for example, they had Anton Winfield Jr. in week 1 last year against the Minnesota Vikings as one of the lower graded players. Now go back to week 1. Yeah. And I mean, it stunned the Buccaneers organization. Like, they actually got on the phone with PFF. They're like, what are you doing? Like you look like idiots for doing this.
You do.
And they kind of bumped his grade up a little bit, but here was the stat line for Winfield. I think he was the leading tackler for the Buccaneers. And remember, he plays safety.
Right.
Okay. So his tackles are going to be deeper. He shouldn't get penalized for saving touchdowns. I think he saved 2 or 3 Justin Jefferson touchdowns in week 1. That's his job as the safety, to make that game-saving, touchdown-saving tackle. And so when you make that tackle, I don't care if it was, X amount of yards downfield, like, get out of the books, nerds, and understand the context of the game.
Right.
It's like he saved the touchdown. Like that should be like a plus play, if anything, because of the context of the magnitude of it. Then remember, he had a sack, forced fumble recovery of Kirk Cousins in week 1. Right. And it's like his impact was, he was the best player on the field. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
he was the best player on the field that day. Justin Jefferson was the best player in the field in the first half. But in the context of the entire game, he was the best player in the field. So for them to give Graham Barton, if you're going to knock a guy, Cody Mauch's day was like this. It was like when it was good, it was great. When it was bad, it was like, come on, Cody. Trying to get that consistent play from Cody, down in, down out, that's going to be the key. Still a work in progress. But to sit there and say that he was the worst offensive lineman out of 5, like, come on.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's like you do such a good job, and then there's that one grade that you're just like, what?
And
come on,
as I understand it, they employ ex-scouts, some ex-coaches who look at the game tape and then they grade.
I think they have a guy that double checks it too, so that you really have 2 eyes on that. And I don't know. Weird,
but whatever. That is what it is. I watched the first half of the tape. I haven't got through the second half yet. And Baldy watched the whole thing. And when you do a 3-minute mock-up on one dude, a rookie center, and showed the athleticism
highlights.
Yeah, against a future Hall of Famer as he spoke. It's a great day for the offensive line. And in the running game, especially, there's the debate now is Bucky or Shad. I'm like, I don't care. I hope
both.
How about both? Yeah, and I think Rashad's numbers don't look as good, but when you look at the tape, I thought he got a couple of minuses, like lost yards, that really hurt his average.
Yeah,
but I thought he ran really, really well, and he may missed a couple of reads, and of course, Bucky was fantastic. What are your thoughts on the 2 backs?
I go back to week whatever it was, of the Liam Cohen era in the offseason. I want to say it was probably like maybe a second presser in the offseason. And we talked about the running backs and what he's looking for. And I remember this like it was yesterday. We want our backs to be shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
We want our backs running to and through the hole. And that guy is Bucky Irving. There's no hesitation in his game. When you're 5'9", 190 pounds, you can't afford to hesitate, right? You're not going to win on the first level. You're not going to, break tackles from defensive linemen, right? You got to get to the second level if you have a chance to succeed in this league at that size. You're not going to be able, you're not Mike Allstott or LeGarrette Blount. You're not going to be able to barrel through a defensive tackle and barrel through a linebacker and rip off a 24-yard run. That doesn't happen. Defensive tackles are going to take Bucky down like immediately just because of the size differential. Bucky knows this. That's why he gets through the hole. He's like, by defensive lineman, now I'm going to take on a linebacker and try to make that guy miss. And that's why he's able to get those 9-yard runs, because he can do that. He's through the hole, makes a guy miss, and then he's tackled by the other linebacker or a safety or a corner or whatever, right? And that's really the kind of guy that Liam Cohen wants, the no hesitation. And I think there are still some times where Rachaad White hesitates. Mm-hmm. He's got to get that out of his system. There's no time to, read and slow play it. And the offensive line is good in Tampa. It's not the best offensive line in football, at least not yet. So when there's the crease there, you got to go. And having a guy like Bucky Irving and maybe seeing the whole picture from the sidelines when Bucky's getting his carries and seeing how fast he hits the hole and hearing the chants of Bucky, boy, that caught me off guard. That caught me off guard.
Yeah.
The kid's first game rips off a 31-yard run, and the crowd is going crazy, chanting his name. Now, it helps to have the name Buck in your name if you're in front of Bucs fans. There's no doubt about it. Like if it was Trevor, I don't know that people would have been like, Trevor, you know what I'm saying? It kind of helped. He had like a little bit of an easy play there.
It definitely works. No question about it.
But in the film room, like that's the kind of stuff Skip Pete's pointing out. Rachaad, see Bucky hit the hole? I need this to be you. And you can do it. And you're bigger. And maybe the guy that tackles Bucky after 9 yards, you're big enough to break that tackle. And maybe you get 19. But you got to do that. So I like the fact that this team has two very capable backs who can pass protect, pass catch, and run. Mm-hmm. It's better than last year when it was Rachaad White and really nobody else. Chase Edmonds absolutely just not that guy. So I like that.
All year. Yeah.
But I'm telling you, go with the more effective guy. And the numbers don't lie. And yeah, there are a couple plays where it wasn't Rachaad White's fault. He got the handoff. He got tackled immediately. It's going to happen. But as we're into week 2, week 3, week 4, I mean, after a month, you'll be able to see those averages.
Yeah.
And Bucky's going to have some of those plays. I think he had one of those plays too, where he got bottled up in the backfield right off the bat. But we'll see. It's better to have two guys and have this little mini debate than
absolutely
than not.
Right? It doesn't matter who starts, really.
Yeah.
Tim, you want to jump in?
Yeah. It looks like they're kind of going to go the way of most NFL teams these days, and you don't have a starting running back. You just do running back by committee. That's what Dallas is doing here.
Yeah,
because they don't have a bona fide starter really. Zeke looked really good on Sunday, I thought, but I don't know if that's sustainable throughout the whole season.
Right.
But so JP, and I'm sort of predicting the first 1,000-yard rusher for the team since 2015. I'm on this, man. I'm going to write about it today too. And JP keeps shooting it down. He's like, no, I just want them both to have like 700 or 800.
Yes.
And everything would be fine. And I don't disagree with that, but I think it's kind of bragging for a team to have their first 1,000-yard rusher in 10 years. And I would like that. Out of both of those guys, which one do you think it would be?
I at this point,
doesn't matter, right?
Before the season started, before Sunday at 4:25, I would have said I think Rachaad White's going to be that guy. Now, I think he might fall short because Bucky is going to eat into his carries. Mm-hmm. If this keeps up, it's so early. It's week 1. Maybe the light bulb comes on. Maybe Rachaad has a monster game in Detroit or against the Broncos. But at this stage, I don't know how you can't give Bucky more carries. And the more carries he gets, that's the less opportunities Rachaad gets. Yeah. And if Rachaad was the lightning in the bottle guy that Bucky is, then you could sit there and say, okay, well, he can still do it with fewer carries. But at this point, I don't know. I'm almost leaning more towards JP. One guy might have 800, the other guy might have 700. And if you remember back in the day with Allstott and Dunn, Allstott never had 100 yards. He had 949 yards in one season where Dunn was hurt and missed a significant part of the season. And the years where Dunn had 1,000 yards, he barely got 1,000 yards. It was like 1,100. So when you have two backs that are worthy of getting the ball, it's tougher to have that 1,000-yard back.
Yep, I'd like to see it happen though.
I would too. Yeah.
And one thing about it though is that's something, and I love this about the Bucs. They really don't give a rat's ass. And
Bucky doesn't care, and Rashad
Bucky doesn't care.
Rashad cares, but you had your chance, man. You fell 9 yards short last year. You had your chance.
Yeah, you probably won't get that opportunity this year. But I think if he wants to look at some numbers, look at his average. Yeah. And instead of it being 3.2, I bet by the end of the year it's more like 4.1. Yeah. And Bucky's may approach 5+, and that's what you want to see in your offense. Scott Reynolds joining us here for the Pewter Report. The offense itself, one of the things I loved about rewatching the game was the really zeroing in on Liam Cohen's calls. Mm-hmm. And I asked Baker after the game, how much did he switch? He said not much because Liam called a great game.
He did.
And and at times last year, you'd look at red zone calls and third down calls, and you'd say, what are we trying to do here?
Yes.
Like, I don't get the concept.
Yeah.
This day, I was like, oh, shit, yeah, look, they're motioning Godwin, revealing the man-to-man, and who's on him? He's going to Godwin. And it was almost – because Godwin, you can't – he's so good at those option routes and beating man-to-man coverage in the short space, and he's so good in catching the football in traffic. He was 8 for 8. And it's like, why? He didn't have a lot of separation at times.
Right.
He doesn't need it.
He's a chain mover. Yeah.
He's a chain mover. And he's just so good. And every 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, you saw the concepts that they were working on.
Yeah.
And there were quick reads for Baker. I thought Baker did a great job against the rush. In the first half alone, he had 5 scrambles to get into a position to throw the football and make first downs. He was fantastic. So, but the offense, the way you can see what Liam Cohen is doing, I think is tremendous. And they're just scratching the surface. Would you agree?
They're scratching the surface. It's not going to be this way every week where Jake Kamara is going to have one punt. Keep that in mind, right? Mm-hmm. So having said that, with Liam Cohen, I didn't have any play where I was scratching my head. I didn't have any play where I'm like, what was that? No, like none.
Yeah.
And I can't remember a Buccaneer game where I didn't have at least one of those. I don't care if it's Byron Leftwich calling it with Tom Brady and AB and Gronk and God, there were some of those plays with Ronald Jones. You're like, well, why did you run that? There, there just wasn't. I'm sure there's gonna be. You can't be this good every week. There's no way. But what a start, what a debut, and it just goes to show you. And I've kind of been beating the drum for this. I did in Nessar's Fab 5, which is my signature column on Fridays, on Liam Cohen's offense.
That's a great call.
Prior to the start of training camp, saying this guy's going to level it up. He is going to level up this offense. And part of the reason why play calling matters, play calling is important. It's just the experience. I don't care if you do it at the Pop Warner level, the high school level, the college level. It's different. It's one thing to sit there and armchair quarterback it. And I know it from my illustrious 4 years out of 6 where I called plays from the South Pasco Predators on defense. It's hard. Yeah. It's hard to sit there and look at the personnel and look at your down and distance and try to recall the film, what they're going to do here, what you can expect, and call the play, make sure your guys are in alignment, and then you're dealing with kids here. So then you got to look and say, wait a minute, I want to check to this. We're checking a claw, whatever, right? You know what I mean? It's a lot. And there's like a play clock.
It's a talent.
It's a talent. It really is. And I can only imagine at the NFL level, right? I mean, we're talking Pop Warner football here, but it levels up. High school is harder. College is harder. NFL is harder. So you're Dave Canales last year, and you come in, and even though you've been on the headset, you've been in the press box, you've helped, you've assisted, you've been the eye in the sky, you've helped put game plans together, it's not on you. And everyone's looking at you. What's the play call, Dave? What are we doing here? It's 3rd and 6. Do we do a draw, screen, slant? Do we take a shot? What are we doing, right? I mean, it's hard. Zach Robinson is this year's Dave Canales.
Yes.
You noticed
in Atlanta.
What Atlanta have 10 points against the Steelers defense?
Mm-hmm.
Steelers defense is good. Don't get me wrong. But you're talking about Kirk Cousins here. Kirk Cousins, a pretty good offensive line, 2 very good running backs to either hand off or throw to, a big-time wide receiver in Drake London, first-round pick, and Kyle Pitts. This isn't Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Right? He's got
and
nothing
Bijan
to work
Robinson,
with.
Not to mention one of the best backs in the league.
Yeah.
Exactly. The Falcons have a lot to work with. Zach Robinson has 0 play calling experience, just like Dave Canales.
That's right.
Liam Cohen spent 2 years calling plays in what I call NFL Junior, the SEC, calling plays against Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Tennessee, Auburn, some really good defenses, and not having a whole bunch to work with. Yeah, he had Will Levis in 2021, right? He had Devin Leary last year. I didn't hear Kentucky in the mix for the playoffs, right?
No.
I mean, they're a bottom tier SEC school. That they can beat the Gators. I mean, who can't beat the Gators now? But sorry, cheap shot. But
shots fired.
You know what I mean? Like they're not going to beat Georgia. They're not going to beat Alabama. They're not going to. Maybe they go toe to toe.
And they had a nice offense.
They did
for Kentucky,
and they
did, and a great running offense.
He called plays for 2 years against NFL talent. And that makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
And then he called a handful of games at the end of the 2022 season when Sean McVay was like pulling his hair out because, it was the Super Bowl hangover and all the injuries to Cooper Kupp and Stafford, and Baker Mayfield comes in. He was the benefit of that a little bit because they got that actual game planning experience together down the stretch. It matters. It matters. Like that game looked better than any game Dave Canales called last year. He called some good ones. The Packers game was good. The Eagles game was good.
This is a different level.
This is a different level.
Yeah.
And he has the edge on Canales. And I mean, did you see the Panthers game on Sunday? Saints. It was ugly. And he's got to level up on Zach Robinson too. And so I think Atlanta's in a world of hurt right now.
I do too.
They have a quarterback that is.
Did you see my Atlanta fan that encapsulated everything I put up on Twitter? I think that was expert analysis.
Yeah.
That was expert analysis.
Here. Sure, trot him out and flush that $170 billion quarterback.
They got 3. They're tied to that contract for 3 years, Scotty.
Yep.
I mean, they're not getting out of that.
Yep.
Oh,
and I'm not saying it's not going to get better. I'm not going to say Atlanta's not going to win any games, but it's going to be. It's going to what the Bucs average last year point wise, 21 points per game. It doesn't win a lot of games in the NFL.
They're already
calling. Would the Bucs win last year? 9 games.
Base, everybody, they're already calling for Michael Penix, and they will keep calling for him.
They're going to keep calling for him. Yeah, maybe Raheem Morris was smart in not playing him in the preseason game. Yeah, there's going to be the chorus for the backup quarterback. Always the most popular quarterback in town, except Tampa. Be like Baker Mayfield, but. Yeah,
all right, so we move it forward. Here come the Lions.
We're going to talk about week 2.
Yeah. Anything else on week 1 you want to hit? I mean, defensively, I thought without Cansey and losing their entire secondary, holding them to 21 points, holding any team to 21 points. And as you know, I wasn't fooled. Jaden Daniels is going to be fantastic.
Don't give him the extra point. They scored 20. Yeah.
They
Bull's not going to like you for saying 21.
That's right.
They
messes up his average.
Yeah. Daniels is going to be fantastic in this league.
He's going to be better than Caleb Williams.
I've said that. And holding him to 88 yards was actually, I think, pretty good. We'll look at that.
Gervais Dennis told me after the game, the quarterback's job is to beat you with his arm.
Yep.
And we did not allow Jaden Daniels to beat us with his arm. That's what he said.
Right.
Yeah, he scrambled.
Point.
He broke contain. I talked to Yaya Diaby. He was rusty. He said, I missed the preseason. So, and Warren Sapp gave me the greatest education when it came to pass rush many, many years ago. If you have a 5-man pressure or even 4, he's like, try to punch somebody with an open hand like this. You're going to literally break your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? You got to ball your hand into a fist. These fingers become a fist when they're together, and that's how you have to strike. And the best sack of the day was Gervais Dennis' sack.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually against Max Protect. They kept both tight ends in, and they checked Eckler out of the backfield. He kind of like did a pseudo blitz pickup, and then kind of shot did like a little curl route for a dump off. But Levante David came screaming in. They zone dropped Yaya Diaby. You had Joe Tron Shoinka from this side. David up the middle, Servassier Dennis from that side. And that was the pocket collapsing. That was the converging of all the rushers on the quarterback. And that's what you want. No escape. It's hard to do when Yaya doesn't have any preseason experience, right? He didn't play at all. It was his first game. So he missed 2 sacks. You got 5 pressures. Not surprised by that. Kalijah Cansey is the pass rusher. Newsflash, Greg Gaines, not the pass rusher.
No.
Will Golston, not the pass rusher. CJ Brewer, Mike Green, not the pass rusher. So they were down a little bit. But you know what? They got, I think they got 16 hurries and 2 sacks. That's 18 pressures on 40 dropbacks. That's pretty good.
Not too bad. Yeah.
That's not bad. And to have Daniels do that, I know that some people are like freaking out. Oh, the Bucs pass rush this or that. No, I think they did a really good job of not allowing Daniels to beat you.
Really
held him to 13 points until the last minute of the game. So yeah, he's going to be really good.
All right, so we got to look ahead. And the Lions, which I watched most of that game against the Rams, they didn't look great. I think there's going to be a little bit of hangover from their season, but they're a good football team. They're really loaded, and the Bucs are just decimated in their secondary right now.
Yeah.
The Winfield injury kind of came out of nowhere, and I didn't think any of us saw that on Sunday. But
we
having him
walking out with the boot, we tweeted that out, and we're like, that's worth keeping an eye on. And then all of a sudden, it's a high ankle sprain. So
I did not. Is it a high ankle sprain? Is that what you're hearing?
Yeah. 2 to 4 weeks. 2 to 4 weeks. It's not as bad as Diaby's. But keep in mind, Diaby was in a boot that day, but we saw Diaby a couple of days after the injury out at practice walking without a boot, which is always a good sign, and walking without even a brace on that ankle. So if it's a little bit better than Diaby was out 5 weeks, so they're hoping 2 or 3 weeks here, and we'll see.
That's a killer.
It is.
Have you heard anything on McCollum with his concussion?
Nope, they're not gonna know until probably Thursday.
Thursday,
because he has to pass certain protocols. You're not even allowed to do a protocol, I think, until Wednesday, because this first day you practice. The players have the day off. They'll go back tomorrow. I think he gets one initial protocol, like can he practice, right? And then if he can practice, then you go out there, you put him in the protective jersey, and he's limited with what he can do. That he's not allowed to have any contact or whatever, right? So he's at a team period. He can do individual stuff. He can run around if he's cleared to practice. And then there's another check on Thursday, and another one on Friday. So there's certain protocols that he has to hit. And usually Todd Bowles is like, if you're not going to practice, I'm not going to play you. Yeah. He's going to play Zion McCollum if he gets the green light. He will give him the green light. Or I should say, he will play him if he gets the green light, because he loves Zion and he needs him in the worst way.
Good. Yeah, and this running attack of the Lions is really good. So I hope Cansey can come back and play. I'm so high on him having a big year. Hopefully this was just precautionary, and the Bucs were like, look, it's the same calf. We got guys for this week. We can handle this. Let's give them the week off. Hopefully.
Sometimes with younger players, we saw this with Mike Evans. Remember, he used to get the annual hamstring injury, in August, and then he was like kind of always questionable for week 1. What you realize as you get older, JP, I'm 52, and I tore my hamstring. It's never been the same. Now, granted, I'm going to make a couple of surprising declarative statements here. Number 1, I'm not a professional athlete. Number 2, I am not a young spry chicken anymore.
It's just it.
Number 3, I don't have a professional training staff helping me recover here at the Reynolds household. Okay. Having said all of that, when you have a hamstring strain or a calf strain, it's code for tear. Like the muscle tears. That's really what it means. So it's a torn calf. And if he had a significant calf injury last year that kept him out of the last 3 weeks of training camp, all of the preseason, and really the first 4 weeks of the season, that was like a 2-month injury. That's a significant injury. I know that because I had a 2-month hamstring tear, and it's never been the same. I still have scar tissue in it. I can't treat both legs equally. I've got to use the little roller when I go out for jogs and stuff on my right leg even more than my left. I've got to stretch even more on my right side more than my left. And I think for young players, you're a football player, like you think you're invincible a little bit. Like, okay, cool. Well, I recovered from it. I played the whole season. I'm good. No, you're always going to have to treat that calf a little differently than the other one.
Because there's so much stress on that muscle, man, for what he does.
And there's some scar tissue there that it's gonna remain there, and it's always gonna be a little bit more susceptible to flaring up. And you look at Mike Evans; he hasn't had a hamstring injury really in the last couple of years, knock on wood, because he understands now, as he's 31 years old, he kind of got it a couple of years ago. He's like, I'm tired of these hamstrings. Now I got to spend more time on this particular hamstring and loosening it up. Even though it feels fine, even though it feels normal, I got to remember.
TB12 it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for young players that think they're invincible and, I recover from injury, I'm fine. No, that calf is always going to be maybe 95%, while the other one's 100. It's never going to be back to 100, and you got to treat it as such. So
Dak Prescott missed 5 games a couple of years ago after straining a calf on a final play in their win against the Patriots. Missed 5 games. Look at Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh right now, dealing with the calf injury that he suffered on the first day of training camp. They thought he was back, and then the week before the season starts, oops, it's hurting again. So he misses. Those things are nothing to joke around about, man. Those things will get you.
Hard to run with that calf.
We'll this is listen, I don't think anybody, circled this as a dub for the Bucs. It's a tough task to go up there. So
here's my 10-second analysis. The Bucs last year were as healthy as they could be heading into that divisional playoff round with all the momentum in the world. They were the hottest team in football. They won 5 out of their last 6 games. They trounced the Eagles at home. Baker Mayfield was on the mend, right? The rib injury, the knee injury were better heading into the Lions game. And they still lost. So you had a fully healthy Buccaneer team playing the best football of the season. They went up there and they lost by 8 points.
8 points, yeah.
So now what is Christian Izzian and Tyreek Funderburk and Jordan Whitehead and Jamel Dean? What is that secondary going to do against
Merriweather
and Jamison Williams and
was that guy?
Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs coming out of the backfield.
I'm not expecting much. I'm not betting on the Bucs this week. No.
Yeah, a healthy Buccaneer team, I give them a puncher's chance. Right. I don't like this matchup. I don't like it, especially.
I don't either. Yeah. All right, Scotty, tell everybody what's coming up this week on Pewter Report.
We're back to our regular schedule, so no podcast today, but we have Pewter Report podcasts Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday every week throughout the whole season at 4:00. You can catch it live on Pewter Report TV. That's our YouTube channel, almost at 16,000 subscribers. So please visit Pewter Report TV and subscribe. Hit the button. That's all you got to do. You can also check out our content on X, Facebook, and Instagram at Pewter Report. That's the handle. And you can follow us on pewterreport.com. We have all of the latest breaking injury news, roster moves. I think they're going to probably re-sign Keenan Isaac today.
Yeah, see that coming.
Yeah, from the Panthers cut him on Saturday, so he makes the most.
No Xavier Howard, no Patrick Peterson.
That's no. Those guys were not a consideration.
No Hassan Reddick, maybe.
No.
And no trade coming.
And then, of course, all of our insight and analysis in your Buccaneers and game coverage on pewterreport.com.
All right, thank you, Scotty. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Great job as always. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, the Tyreek Hill situation is blowing up. We got the body cam video. You make the decision who was in the wrong. I think there's a lot of blame to go around, so we'll get into that a little bit. Some things going on with the quarterbacks in the state of Florida. What the hell's going on at FSU and the University of Florida? What are these coaches thinking? We'll get into that. We are brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. Another happy customer hit me up the other day, said they saved him $700 on their homeowners insurance. Homeowners insurance, folks. Yes, people are saving money because new companies are coming in and they're getting them more discounts. You may not be getting all the discounts that you're allowed on your homeowners insurance because your agent doesn't want to tell you to spend less money. They get less commission, right? They don't do that at Italiano Insurance. They're going to get you all the discounts they possibly can. That's why they get so many new customers, because people are coming to them to get the great customer service. So call Italiano, 813-877-7799. And don't forget business insurance as well, folks. If you don't have it, you started a side hustle and you're making money, it's business insurance. You got to have it at Italiano Insurance. 813-877-7799. Back in 3. Stay with us. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results, whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all. It's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best in the business. Golfers, listen up. The hottest new driving range craze has come to Rogers Park in Tampa. The Top Tracer range is now open 10 to 9 p.m. And just like you see on TV, every shot is tracked for yardage and accuracy, giving you immediate feedback. And best of all, you can virtually play the top courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with your buddies. Plus, great food and drink options available in the well-appointed hitting bays. Very comfortable out there. Reservations highly recommended, starting at $25 per hour, including balls. Reserve at RogersParkGolf.net. That's RogersParkGolf.net. See you there.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show as we roll on here. We got lots more coming your way. TJ Reed's Bucs sideline guy's going to join us. My good buddy Eric Steele was in Alabama, Tuscaloosa, to watch the Bulls play on Saturday, and we're going to have a proud papa moment with him. We're not bringing him up yet, Tim. You can let him sit in the back there. He's going to enjoy the show.
My bad.
While we do the other things that we tease. That's right.
Producing on the air.
I got you. He wanted to jump in early, just to enjoy the show. So we'll get to that in just a second. But I want to hit some of these other things that we are going to talk about. First and foremost, my beloved Florida State Seminoles. Mike Norvell did his press conference as they head into the Memphis week this week, where he used to coach. And although I was expecting a direct question about who the quarterback was going to be this week, and obviously he probably wasn't going to answer it anyway, but what I got was no wholesale changes for this team that's been dreadful for the first 2 weeks, with a bunch of guys out there that are playing with no heart. And I was very distressed by that. I wanted to hear a little bit more from the coach. And listen, it's all coach speak, right? At this point, he may be doing something completely different behind the scenes, which I hope so. I just see no upside in playing DJU the rest of the season. Let Brock and Luke fight it out as the future quarterbacks of this team, and let a lot of these young kids play, who obviously will hopefully play harder than what we've seen from some of these older NIL kids. So that was dismissing to me. We'll see what happens this week against Memphis. And it appears Sunbelt Billy Napier is going to go back to Graham Mertz instead of sticking with DJ Lagway against Texas A&M this weekend. Now, in that situation, maybe he's a little concerned about a terrible offensive line, although Noel's offensive line is not much better, and still doesn't want to break DJ's confidence. But again, where's the upside in Graham Mertz, who's, playing his final season of college football? I mean, it sucks for him if he's replaced. It's not that it was his fault against Miami. I don't think he played horribly. Now, DJ has played horribly. He doesn't deserve to play anymore, in my opinion. Right. But as far as we know, this week, that's what we're going to see. Both of those older quarterbacks who are not the future for either one of these teams continuing to play, and I don't get it. But we'll see how it goes.
I'm sure there's reason somewhere, right, that we just won't ever hear about it.
Yeah, maybe it's the GM of the NIL telling them you got to pay the guys play the guys we're paying. I don't know. Yeah,
just like you run into draft picks in the pros.
No way to run a program, in my opinion. And I don't think that's happening. If it is, boy, we've really come to a bad spot in college football.
You never know.
Oh, my God. All right. I wanted to get to the Tyreek Hill situation as well. The body cam footage is out. You all know the backstory. But this is what it looked like from the point of view of the cop. And then we can all decide, who was in the wrong here. So this is body cam footage from Miami-Dade. Don't knock on my window.
Don't knock on my window. Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Don't knock on my window like that, no. Like what? Don't knock on my window like that. Why you have it up? Don't knock on my window like that. Why you have it up? I have to knock to let you know I'm here. That way you can lower it and talk to you. Just get my ticket, bro, so I can go. I'm gonna be late, gang. Do what you gotta do. Keep it down. Hey! Keep your window down.
Yeah, that's a no-no.
Yep. Hey!
Tinted windows.
Keep your window down. Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car. Give me that. Get out of the car. Give me that. We'll break that freaking window. Get out of the car. Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out. 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 Damn. What part of fellas doing this now? Hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested, dude.
He's talking to Drew Rosenhaus, his agent on the phone.
I'm getting arrested,
yeah.
Drew. I'm getting out, bro. God damn, twin. When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand? You understand? Not when you want, but when we tell you. You're a little fucking confused. I'm getting out, bro. Too late. Too late. All right, bro. Take me to jail, bro. Do what you gotta do, bro. We are. We will. Good, bro. It is good. Hey. Don't worry about it. I hung up the phone. You stop crying. Bro.
That's one of his teammates, Clay Campbell, I believe.
Yeah.
Pulling up. So that was the original altercation, and evidently he was speeding at a high rate of speed. They pulled him over, and that was how it went down. Obviously, you can't be disrespectful to cops, and you have to listen to what they're asking you to do. Now, were they did they de-escalate it? No, they did not. They did not try to de-escalate it like they should have. But when it comes to, in terms of protocols, you can't have somebody roll up their tinted windows. You have no idea what they're doing in the car. They could be getting a gun, and that happens all the time, folks. Go look up all the videos of cops getting shot on traffic stops. You've got to see the person's hands all the time. You've got to be able to see what's going on. And if you don't, you are in peril. That is how they are taught. And if the person, no matter who it is, does not respond to the instructions, you don't have a whole lot of choice, because in the cops world, detain first, ask questions later.
Yes.
Now, everybody's going to say, why are you throwing him down on the ground? I get it. It looks overzealous. There's no question about that. But you have to look at it from law enforcement standpoint. If you're not cooperating from the very get-go, there's, de-escalation is, put on the back burner. And, it looks bad. It looks bad. Should they have tried to de-escalate? Absolutely. But the guy did try to say, listen, put your window down. put your window down. You know, when your first salvo from the person in there is don't knock on my window, don't knock on my window. You know, right from the beginning, there's a power struggle here. I was always taught, yes, sir, no, sir. Here's my license. Here's my registration. What do you need? You know, anything they tell you to do, you do. And if you don't, there's going to be an issue. There's going to be an issue. And what did you see, Tim?
So the rules that I have several friends that are law enforcement at different levels of city, state, national, right? And every guy that's ever worked a patrol will tell you, when you get pulled over, you pull over, hazards on, roll your window down, hands at 10 and 2 on the wheel so they can see your hands. That's what they're looking for, right? Your window's already down. They walk up, you keep your hands right there. When they ask you for your license, and they don't do registration in Texas, it's license and insurance. Yes, sir, it's in my console. Can I reach for it now? Absolutely. Boom. The fact that he rolled his window back, well, number one, that he didn't have his window down to begin with, that's on him. And then he rolled it back up. Like, why are you rolling it back up? They've already talked to you. So, of course, he's going to be knocking on it after you're telling him to not knock on it. Well, then roll it down. He can't knock on it. It's a minor, from what I could tell, a minor if he was speeding. For one, he shouldn't have been speeding. Minor traffic violation. If he'd have had the window down and cooperated, he'd have been out of there in 5 minutes.
Yes.
And none of this would be on video.
Yes.
None of this would have happened. Did the officers escalate it too quickly? You know what? I don't know what was going through their minds. I don't know what happened to them that day. I don't know where their mindset was. You're pulling into a stadium, and it's clearly a player. They had to know who he was, right? You had to know who he was.
I don't take it for granted that everybody knows who football players are.
No, me neither. But he's in that car pulling into the stadium. I mean, whatever. But you know what? I almost don't blame the cops for this at all. He was being a jerk. Hill was being an idiot.
And then when they asked him to get out of the car,
he didn't.
He didn't get out of the car. They asked him 3 times to get out of the car, and he didn't get out of the car. He didn't have his seatbelt on, so it wasn't like he needed to unbuckle his seatbelt. He was being difficult at every level.
Yeah.
And these are the things that happen. I think he was in the wrong. I think the cops probably could have de-escalated that if they wanted to, because they knew, you know, I would think that they know it's a player.
One of them had to know.
The idea that if he has a gun and he's a violent offender, like that shouldn't have been part of the equation. He's a player. He's in an expensive car. He's not coming out shooting, you know?
Yeah.
So I think the first thing should have been de-escalation. Well, the first thing should have been doing what the cops ask you to do and not directly defying them multiple times. And then the cop needs to be better. The cop just needs to be better and de-escalate the situation. But what I do, and I'll say this again, I think Tyreek Hill said exactly what he needed to say after the game, which is, you know, let's turn this into a positive. I don't think he was as forthcoming as he should have been about the way he reacted to the cop. He said, I didn't know what happened. Well, you should have known we're going to see the body cam footage. Yeah. So, but I think, you know, his initial was, listen, we're going to make a positive out of this. I respect cops. And I think that's what he's going to do. And I like that. I think that's how this is going to turn out. Now, of course, everybody, the usual suspects are on Twitter, just, you know, trying to conflagrate this into the hugest. And ESPN is going to try to blow this up and divide everyone as much as they possibly can, because that drives their ratings. They don't care about the outfall of any of that. And that's despicable more than anything. Yeah. But I think at least what Tyreek said was good. And I think something positive can come out of this. But again, kids, if you get stopped, roll your window down, be respectful. Most 99% of the time, nothing's going to happen, except you're going to get a ticket, or you might get out of it.
Maybe not.
You never know. If you're really nice to the cops and you're respectful to them, oftentimes they will let you go with a warning. Mm-hmm. So try that first.
Kill them with kindness.
Yes. All right. Let's bring in our good friend Eric Steele, former Florida State football player and now proud papa to a young son that got to play in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. What's up, Eric? How are you?
Hey, JP. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man.
Look at that big old fish behind you. What is that?
Yeah, big old snook daddy.
Yeah.
Cockroach
So I love doing these proud papa moments on our show. And you have a great story to tell. And being a former FSU football player yourself, you know the thrill of playing in big college football. I'm guessing it was probably even more exciting to watch your son play at Alabama. Tell me about it.
It was amazing, man. For him to, he started at Little Cambridge and then went to Eastlake and then Mount Union. So he's had quite a little journey to go. And for him to play his first D1 snaps at Alabama is just incredible. I mean, I've never felt more proud or more nervous, actually. I've played, and it was a bit nerve wracking, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah. So what was that like? So he makes the travel team, and what number is he? What
he's number 45. Wyatt Steele, number 45, plays tight end. He plays special teams. It was amazing, JP. I mean, my wife and I were just tickled pink. We had a blast. The people of Alabama were just unbelievable. When I would tell them playing, they were like just patting me on the back and good luck and I hope he does great. So it was amazing.
Have you ever? I've never been to Alabama, Tuscaloosa. It's one of the few stadiums I've not covered or been to. What was that like?
Oh man, the pageantry there is amazing. They have just everybody's all decked out. They got their dresses on and their cowboy boots, and everybody's so confident. And it's just an amazing place to go see college football. Honestly, if I would have visited there when I was getting recruited, there's a good chance I would have gone there.
Well, it wasn't like that when you were getting recruited, Porter.
No, sir.
That was empty a lot of the times. Yeah. Yeah. So like, take me through the first play you saw him out there. Was he on kickoff?
Yeah, he was on kickoff return. He's the middle guy, the second line middle guy. And he's a baller. He loves to just crack heads, and so
I know
they all love him about that. And that's one of the things. He got that from me, I think. But
yes,
it was amazing. I mean, just to see him out there playing against Alabama, wow, it was just a dream come true. I mean, that kid started from nothing. He was a COVID kid, which nobody got recruited during those years.
Right.
It was bad. So for him to make that step, and for USF and Coach Golish to give him that opportunity is quite amazing. And I did want to say something about USF, JP, which you probably can relate to, is that the program reminds me of the '80s, back when PT was playing and
FSU,
and when Dion came on. It's just that the feel of the program now is like
really
that early '80s. It's about to go. It's about to explode. So it's pretty cool, man.
Well, and that's interesting you say that, because the performance was, I thought, off the charts. I'm sitting there watching this game. I'm like, this is going to be one of the biggest upsets in SEC history. It's going to be the greatest win in USF history. They were going toe to toe with Alabama. I mean, I was incredibly impressed. I mean, what did it feel like watching them just hang in? It's like they were doing it.
Yeah, it was incredible. And everybody was so fired up, and the Alabama fans were just quiet as can be.
Yes, they were.
They were so quiet. It was awesome, man. We were just like, look at this. And you know what? It was they were playing great. And I think everybody says the refs are a problem, but those bastards basically, called a penalty on number 8 on some little baby hold. It wasn't even a holding penalty. And then that was the game changer. Then they started calling penalties against our offense and our defense, and they stopped calling that. They were like tackling number 90 Hawthorne the whole game. They couldn't stop that guy. He was a beast. And the refs kind of changed it. And then once they couldn't keep up, once they got behind the sticks, I think the big red elephants got them. I mean, those guys were huge.
Yeah, they were.
Our players play with such freaking tenacity and intensity. It was really impressive. I can't wait to see the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm glad they came through it kind of unscathed. At least I don't think they got any major injuries. And it was, to see that Byram, who I think is just an incredible quarterback, he was a little off his game. We've seen him throw better and play better. I mean, he ran great. He ran like a madman, but that was certainly not his A game. And, for USF to not have their best and still go toe to toe. And I mean, the final score is a joke. It has nothing to do with the way the game was played.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I think this bodes well for this team. I mean, I even think they could beat Miami.
I think they have a chance, actually. I said that at the beginning of the year, but if Byron can be a little more accurate than he was, because
Yep.
he was hammered by those guys.
Yeah, he was.
That had something to do with it. He was getting hit.
Yeah.
So
he took a lot of shots.
he
Yeah.
And I was like, they had that one, I guess, helmet to helmet where he.
That was bad. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So anyway, that's it's a great proud papa moment to hear you say that you really got that feeling. So that's the feeling among the team. They're super confident. They're super confident, aren't they?
And they should be. I mean, they're, Golish is a tough guy. He demands that they play hard every time. And, he loves on them just as much as he's hard on them. So it's a really great program. It reminds me a lot of the coaches back in our day when I was there.
Yeah.
They wanted you to do well. They basically coached you that way, and they gave a crap about you, whereas a lot of times they don't anymore. So
no, I agree. Well, I think they got something special going on there at USF, and I think this can be a great season. And so now, is White going to get some run on offense? Is he going to catch some passes this year? What do we got?
Well, he's supposed to be redshirted this year. Actually, they want him to get a little bigger because he's like 233 now.
Yeah,
he's really fast. He's running like 4.6, so he'll do whatever they say. Whatever they want him to do, he'll do it. But he's scheduled to redshirt this year so he can get bigger. But
yeah, well, that's good. Never know. Well, I'm glad
Alabama.
I'm glad he got that gene from you where it doesn't matter who it is or what it is. He's going to stick his face in the fan and just knock the crap out of somebody. He's always played that way, even at Cambridge. We saw that early on. I just hope he's a lot smarter than his dad, though. Just like football IQ. I think hopefully. Okay.
He won't use his head as much as I did.
Yeah. Any thoughts on your alma mater watching the first 2 weeks as we have?
Oh man, it just seems like they don't have the heart they normally have.
No,
it doesn't seem like they have the Knowles that are really Knowles there. The guys they brought in, I heard something about they didn't want to hear that war chant during the game. You kidding me, man? That's
that's ridiculous. If you haven't heard, this is when the players went to game management or whatever and said, "Can we play some different music on third down beside the war chant?" And evidently, they said, "Okay, we'll play some of this stupid DJ music." Hopefully that goes away against Memphis. I mean, because it's crap. And if you make the request and you give up every third down, then you don't get the luxury of any more requests. Until you start winning on third down, you're going to get the war chant. That's all you're going to get. So
the war chant as a player fires you up. It gets you rolling. You hear everybody going war chant, man, you're ready to kill somebody. That's just how it is.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of Akon will get them going. No, I guess that didn't work. I swear to God, I don't want to hear any more of that stupid stuff. All right, partner. Hey, great to have you on. Congratulations on Wyatt, that being a great success. We appreciate you, and thanks for jumping on. Keep us posted on USF. It's going to be fun season.
Yes, sir. Thank you, JP. Appreciate you, buddy. Go Knowles. And Bulls.
And Bulls, yeah. We're semi-Bulls. That's what we are. All right, that's fun. I just love, knowing Wyatt. I've seen him grow up, and he played with my son at Cambridge so many, many years ago. So good to see a local kid doing well at USF.
Yeah, very nice.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, TJ Reeves is going to join us, and we'll talk all things college football. We'll talk some Bucs. We'll talk all kinds of stuff. And I'm going to get your comments in as well. We'll get to your comments. There's some comments on the Tyreek Hill situation and the Bucs in general. We'll get to all of it. When we come back, we're brought to you by the Gold and Diamond Source. Hey, dudes, it's not just for the ladies. Go buy something there for yourself. Get yourself a nice watch, nice necklace, get some cufflinks, whatever you want at the Gold and Diamond Source. Back in 3. Stay with us. Discover a world of elegance and sophistication at the Gold and Diamond Source. Whether you're searching for your first piece or celebrating a special milestone, their expert team is here to guide you every step of the way. Navigating the world of fine jewelry can be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Their knowledgeable staff is dedicated to helping you choose the perfect piece, ensuring you feel confident and informed. At the Gold and Diamond Source, they pride themselves on offering only the highest quality jewelry. From stunning engagement rings to timeless watches, each piece is crafted with precision and care. So take advantage of their 5 years interest-free financing. This means you can get a $5,000 piece and only pay $83 a month. And if you're new to buying diamonds, their first-time buyer program will educate you on the 4 C's: cut, color, clarity, and carrot and help you understand the different shapes and sizes available. Go enjoy the great staff at the Golden Diamond Source. You'll be family forever. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right, that's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the JP Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Tarpon Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Extravaganza Productions. If you have an event coming up, a charity event, you got a big birthday coming up, something to celebrate, you want the professionals to help do the party for you, get some creative input, well, it's Extravaganza Productions. Go tour the warehouse and all the great props they have over there. Our good friend Paul Thomason and Dolly Brown will hook you up with a free creative meeting if you mention this terrific program that you're watching right now with all the terrific guests that we have. Extravaganzaproductions.com. Contact them through the website or Google them and tell them JP sent you. And speaking of great guests, it's Tuesday, so it's a TJ Tuesday. TJ Reeves is in the building. What's up, my friend? How are you?
Oh, listen, it is always good to be with you, but especially after a Buccaneer victory. Yes. So everybody's in a better mood.
Yes, they
Except,
are.
Of course, can anybody play defensive back? I'm sure we'll get to that in a few moments, but everybody's in a great mood right now after an opening week win. I know we did the post-game show with you and Peter and covered a lot of what went on, and we've had some time to digest it. I fully understand and keep saying it's one game. Had they lost the game, I would be saying the same thing. One game does not a season make. but you got to be encouraged by what you saw. Yes, you got to.
I was. It was a great first game on so many levels. By the way, listen to your Nothing But Bucs podcast. Terrific. If you love the Bucs and you don't get to hear Gene Deckerhoff and Dave Moore very much and yourselves, everybody listens to you guys on the post game show. They're leaving. But during the game, you miss all the great calls. So go back and listen to TJ's podcast, which I retweet every week, and you can hear all that good stuff. So
through the Buccaneers mobile app, Buccaneers.com, and Apple Podcast, Nothing But Bucs is a complete recap with the highlights, the post-game interviews, day after the game. We soldier on, and thank you for the kind words. There are a lot of people that love this. There are a lot of out-of-market people that find this. I send it to them. They found it on their own that love taking 40 minutes and relive the Buccaneer game.
Yeah, especially
via the highlights. There you go.
Especially that one. It was a good.
There were a lot of highlights Sunday, that's for sure.
Yeah. So what did it feel like at ground level watching this Buccaneer offense and its efficiency? There were a few false starts that they need to clean up, but I mean, just the execution on third down, the explosion of Bucky Irving. How's that look at ground level?
Yeah, all the above. Baker Mayfield starts the game 15 of 17. Hello.
That's pretty good.
Completing passes. Bucky Irving putting a foot in the ground and taking off. So many weapons in the pass game if they stay healthy. Who are you going to double cover? How many can you double cover with that? Number 13 at field level, Mr. Evans has still got it down the field. I know we're early in season number 11 here, but for right now, those that are wondering whether he can still go get the football, go get the ball, go up high and get the ball, etc. That was exciting to see. And you're right. I mean, they had not really played. We kept documenting this. They played one series in the final preseason game, but they got enough work in, obviously, with the Jaguar ones in the practices and the Dolphins for the 1 day of practice to give them some work together against another team. And it looked good. It looked good on a lot of fronts. Again, it's a game. The sample size is, what does this look like in mid-October? What does it look like in mid-November overall as an offense? But that was very encouraging Sunday.
Yeah, and I'd still rather see a team play like this and start the season well than what we saw with the Falcons, the Browns,
Carolina.
the Giants.
Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, I'd much rather start here and then figure out where we can go from here than the other way around.
I totally agree, because you right now lend optimism. You lend to positive reinforcement. You looked that way on Sunday. You got a chance to go do it again now. Payback situation early in the year with the Lions for knocking you out of the playoffs. But you're right. I mean, does anybody right now think the New York Giants have any hope with Daniel Jones? I mean, they were booing him out of the stadium. I mean, watching Dave Canales, unfortunately, in Carolina. Does anybody think that's anything other than 1-16, maybe 2-15?
Like it's over before it begins.
That's right. Would you rather be in those kind of situations, or would you rather be in this situation? Buccaneers are one of the highest scoring teams of the weekend with the 37 points. And like you were pointing out, probably should have been more with kicking the field goals, and some of the guys that were open for big plays early on in the game could have maybe been more. But hey, we'll take it. We had so many years, unfortunately, under Tony Dungy and in other situations where you couldn't score a touchdown. And we relied on our buddy Martin Gramatica, to kick 5 field goals like the Steelers to beat somebody. That was not the case Sunday.
His kid was kicking field goals this week.
Yes. Yeah. All the Gramaticas are kickers. So I'll just plug that the oldest one, Nico, is kicking for USF on the kickoffs, not place kicking yet.
Yeah.
The next one that's the same age as the twins, he does not go to Steinbrenner High School, by the way. He goes to Cambridge Christian School, where your daughter went, and he is the place kicker, and he kicked some field goals the other night in the game.
Wow.
That's Gaston Gramatica, or G. That's G. And you know who the best athlete might be? The daughter, Emmy Gramatica, and she is a soccer player, and she was kicking off for the JV team for Cambridge.
She's going to kick for varsity.
She is kicking off.
Yeah.
Look out for Emmy Gramatica while we plug the Gramaticas.
And she's a hell of a flag football player. Great receiver.
Can I tell you what Martine said to me? No disrespect to his sons. He said she may be a better athlete than both of them, and they're good athletes. He said it is scary.
That's my family. Maybe DJ, I got 6 kids that I know of. 4 boys, 2 girls. I had to qualify that. 4 boys, 2 girls. My oldest, or my youngest daughter, who is now 22, plays college basketball, and she is by far the best athlete in the family. Not even close.
I love it. And so you never know, but we love the Grammaticas and the kicking and the little plug there for that. But it did not come down to whether the Bucs needed a clutch field goal or not. Although Chase McLaughlin
he was money.
looked
he misses those field goals early, and it's a totally different ball game.
Agreed.
You're getting points on the board. You score 5 possessions in a row. That's important. And then you look at the flip side. Their guy missed one. You've seen it all over the league. It's a momentum breaker. It's awful.
Yes.
It sucks.
Cade York is his name, and he's past tense because the Commanders got rid of him yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah.
So their kicker, Joey Sly, Joey Sly, their kicker got hurt in preseason. They tried to replace him with another kicker who's gone, and now they tried to replace him with Cade York, who's also gone. Spin the wheel of fortune here to find another kicker in Washington.
Did you guys see, and probably not, it was probably on the highlights, but Cowboys kicker Brandon Aubrey, who's money, by the way, at the end of the half, kicked a 66-yard field goal that would have tied the record had the Cowboys not been called for a delay of game. It was this close. It was that close. Like, I've seen worse that they didn't call. And
so they called delay of game, and it nullified him bombing it.
5 yards.
Did he go ahead? I don't know this. Did he go ahead and try the 71-yarder on the next play, or did they kneel down?
McCarthy sends him out to line up for a 71-yarder. And then
wait a minute. Let's do the math. That means 61 yards. That means he's kicking from the 39-yard line.
And
he's kicking
McCarthy
from the 39-yard line. Okay.
I think McCarthy, because that 66-yarder that he kicked would have been good from 71. So McCarthy sends him out there, and the Browns called a timeout. Because they were thinking, fake. There's going to be a fake, right? And so then they went ahead and sent Dak out to do a Hail Mary after that. But he made the 66, but you don't get credit because it didn't count.
Wow, didn't count. Delay a game.
And that dude, he was a XFL kicker, or like
he's a soccer player, but he kicked in the XFL for 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, this has turned into, and we can morph it into the kickoff now, the dynamic kickoff, where I think
about that?
A lot of teams now are just going to blast it out of the end zone. I know Sean McVay did it every time, and the Commanders, I think, returned one kick, maybe two. Camarda put it through the end zone the other times.
If they move it to the 35, you think that changes? I think it changes.
If the penalty, if the punishment is the ball being at the 35, it would be different. Some have suggested, and this is an interesting suggestion, back the kicker up to like the 25.
Yeah, there you go.
Where now the touchback is kicking the ball 75, 80 yards into the end zone, and you get better rewarded for the touchback. I don't know. Now, the Cardinals ran a kickoff back for a touchdown in the game with the Bills.
All that.
So for right now, I guess this thing is going to stick. The NFL has never come out and said, we're going to do this for the entire year. And I think there are some teams believing this may change and go back to the old way at some point this season, but who knows?
Really?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I think back the kicker up. That's it. It fixes everything. Fixes
You know who's hating all of this is Anthony Becht. He's hating all these touchbacks because he loves that kickoff.
Yeah,
he loves that dynamic kickoff.
Well, because it's an XFL thing. But maybe the solution is back the kicker up on the kickoff and then the reward. Because again, the other players, the 10-on-9 blocking up there, it doesn't affect them no matter where he kicks it from. He can kick it from row AA, and it doesn't matter for them.
Kicker, if you recruited a kicker or you signed a kicker who can put it out of the end zone, then you get the advantage. You're not changing rules on you where it hurts you.
Hey, this is a good topic because the Bucs had a lot of kickoffs on Sunday.
Exactly.
As we know, they kicked it off a lot on Sunday.
Maybe that's why Camarda can't punt anymore. He's tired of kicking off.
True.
How the hell's that happen?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I hate to speculate. You got a new special teams coach. He bombed the first kick in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's been weird. The one punt on Sunday was like straight up in the air. Yeah. It was like 38 yards. It was weird. So I don't know. But luckily it didn't matter. And hopefully he gets it on track because he is a weapon. He's been one of the best punters in the NFC for the last couple of years, for sure.
TJ, I want to talk some quick September Heisman for you here on your college football brain. Of course, everybody's talking Cam Ward, rightfully so. Everybody's talking Quinn Ewers, rightfully so.
Texas, right?
Yep, I got to watch a kid from right here in my backyard, from Little Elm High School here in Texas, who plays for the Washington State Cougars, who took over for Cam Ward, playing my Texas Tech Red Raiders at 9 o'clock Saturday night local time, so I got to stay up late. Have you heard of John Mateer?
I knew of him, and I know he played well in that game. They bashed Texas Tech the other night, so that's an interesting name as well.
So he goes 9 of 19 for 115 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick through the air, right? Like, meh, whatever. He had 21 carries for 197 yards and 1 touchdown on the ground. He's the quarterback.
The quarterback, right? Kind of Jaden Daniels-esque. That would be actually the Heisman.
He went a Heisman throwing for 100 yards.
Right, but the Heisman has become wide open. I mean, Jaden Daniels, again, primarily won it with his wheels. I know he's playing in the SEC. So Carson Beck, the Georgia quarterback's got to be one of the favorites. Ewers at Texas because he's a quarterback on a really good team. I'll just give you another name. The Boise State running back Ashton Janetti. Have you gotten a load of this, JP? Yep. He had 6 touchdowns in the opening game, and he had, 2 or 3 more the other night with Oregon. So that's a name just on the radar. I know they play all the way out in the Pacific Northwest, and you're not seeing a lot of run or attention for them.
Yeah.
But this college football season is going to be wild.
Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, what happened with that? Have you seen the latest that the report is that in the home opener that Dion ordered that the Colorado band stop playing the fight song after the touchdowns? Did you see this? So that they could play Shedeur's rap song over the PA after his touchdowns. The band is there to celebrate with the fans and play the fight song for the touchdowns. And Coach Prime is putting the kibosh on the band doing the
Just
fight
make
song.
the band play his rap song. Let them learn the song, and they can play it as the band.
Man, what a mess.
Things are a mess down there because they're going to keep losing.
At FSU, the players wanted DJ music instead of the war chant. And the adults in the room said yes.
What is that all about?
It's not
the tradition.
Yeah, it's college football, folks. If you want to get rid of these traditions, you got nothing left. You're paying the players now.
Right.
Fine. We'll figure that out.
You're borderline NFL. You're borderline.
Like I said the other day, what are we going to bring in Chief Osceola in a cyber truck and have him jump out and plant the spear? Are you effing kidding me? No, we have traditions here. And
I agree.
And you can't get off the field on 3rd down, you stupid ass players. And now you're telling us you don't want to hear the war chant because you want to hear a little Akon. Shut up. Play. Go play. Yeah.
I understand. What else you got for me?
Don't forget about Rocco Becht. How about our boy Rocco Becht? Did you see that?
Tremendous.
Did you see that comeback, the throw he makes?
Yes. They rarely
get the game-winning field goal. Are you freaking kidding me?
They rarely have beaten Iowa, and now that's an all-timer to win at Iowa with that last second drive.
He's a legend.
And that field goal, Rocco will be talked about for years to come winning that. Exactly. NIL money, the whole bit that comes from something like that. And it's great for him. I love the Becht family. It's amazing that he basically wasn't recruited in our state. That's incredible. Matt Campbell came in and said, I see something here. And they were offering him. They were talking to him and offering him back in his junior year.
Would take him as a starter right now. Damn right they would.
You wouldn't want that guy at quarterback. I would think that you would. So it was a big weekend to watch all of that with the college football. Now I'm curious because I'm gathering information. So Timmy, you were locked in. JP was at the Buccaneer game with me. We're locked in on the Buccaneer game with the Commanders, obviously at the same time that Tom Brady was making his debut in the booth for the Cowboys game. What is the Tim Ham opinion? Because we were around Brady for so much here in Tampa Bay with the media, etc., for the Super Bowl year and the 2 years after that. But how did he do, in your opinion?
So I was telling JP at the beginning of the show that I sent out a post on X that I think we finally found something Tom Brady's not excellent at. But
reviews were not good.
With this caveat, the chemistry that he and Kevin Burkhardt have together is great. And I think Tom Brady will get better and better and better at this. It was his first game.
Sure.
There was obviously some nerves there. You could tell. His jokes, he had some jokes that he tried that sort of failed, that flopped, they're on the air. And I think he'll get better. I think
with the pre-recorded jokes, the pre.
I'm sure he had those locked in.
Had a little.
Chamber.
Well, and the one factor obviously is you want a good game to call to help you be locked in. And this was a one-sided game, and this game became 20-3, 27-3, and that made it more difficult. That wasn't everything.
Yeah, and he was. I'll tell you this: like one of the concerns I had was he wasn't going to be real critical of quarterbacks.
Okay,
dude, he was all over Deshaun Watson. Like that was hey, that was a terrible throw. He missed that throw by a mile. You got to make that throw.
And if you're doing your job at the highest level, you have to do that. If something is terrible, you got to say it's terrible.
I mean, Dak had a couple of bad throws in the game, and he called those out too. He's like, you can't make that mistake when you're the quarterback of the Cowboys, And so I think his delivery was a little off, but I think he'll get it down. I think he'll be fine.
Again, you're educating us because everybody in the Tampa Bay area, unless you had the Sunday ticket, couldn't see him, couldn't record it, couldn't do anything because of the Buccaneer Commander game, and rightfully so. I mean, the Bucs are the priority here in this market. It was just on at the same time. So we'll be curious. And by the way, get used to him doing the Dallas games. He's going to do probably 7 or 8 of them before the year is over with on Fox, including Thanksgiving Day, et cetera, et cetera. So you'll see him a bunch.
Fox doesn't have the Super Bowl this year, do they?
They do. They do. He's calling the Super Bowl with Kevin Burkhardt. Correct.
Really?
That's why it was critical to get him revved up with some practice games, which he did, and get him underway because they're doing the Super Bowl. That's correct.
Well, calling Cowboys games isn't going to prepare him for the Super Bowl.
Where's the rim shot? Perfect.
There we go.
Perfect
there we
with
go.
the rim shot.
Hey, I was going to ask you some more college football stuff. So here we are. FSU welcomes in Memphis, and the Gators after watching.
I don't have my hat on. I don't have my hat on for the Memphis Tigers right now.
Right. Well, FSU is actually favored by 6.5. So make your student loan back at Memphis by betting on the Tigers. But evidently Norvell is going to stick with DJU, which is just as I said, we need DJ out of the booth, DJ out of the quarterback spot, and DJ out of the linebacker spot. DJ free.
Go DJ free at Florida State. You love it when I reminisce on a Tuesday.
I do.
With you. I have experienced the good, the bad, and the ugly with former Memphis State and Florida State. So this would predate you having been at FSU, but Gene and I were talking about this because Gene brought up Danny McManus for some reason. I know we're going in the dark ages of Florida State football into the 80s.
My high school backup. Yes.
Memphis State
That's true.
Played Florida State in Tallahassee.
Yes.
And this is about 1985. I believe. I'm teenage TJ. I'm there in Tallahassee with McManus as the quarterback. I want to say they had won a Fiesta Bowl maybe with him the year before, something like
87. 87.
They eventually won it. So this is maybe the 86 season. We got to go back and look for the year. So Memphis State had a defensive end, and I remember this name, classic. Marlon Brown was his name, but Marlon's nickname was Space Dog. Marlon Space Dog Brown. Marlon Space Dog Brown had been in the Marines for 4 years. He came to play college football at Memphis State after that as like a 24 or 25-year-old, unheard of.
Yes.
He was a tremendous off the right end pass rusher for Memphis State. And Danny McManus found that out the hard way because Marlon Space Dog Brown came around the end. And when I jogged Gene, he remembered this. Even going back 40 years ago. He levels McManus from the blind side, like old school Lawrence Taylor style, pick a defensive end, rushing a quarterback, knocked McManus cold, and Memphis State picked the ball up and ran it 80 yards for a touchdown in the game. And teenage TJ's going crazy up in the stands like one of 57.
McManus is lying lifeless on the Doak Campbell.
Yes, while they're running the other way. All right, as I said, okay, so that's a memory. Marlon Space Dog Brown.
Yes.
All right, but I've explained to you before the good, the bad, the ugly. I was in the house November of '89, my sophomore year, and you may have been on the game broadcast. Peter Tom Willis and the Seminoles welcoming in Memphis State the week before the upcoming Florida game, and Peter Tom Willis threw not 1, not 2, not 3, but 6 touchdown passes in the first half of the game against Memphis State. So again, I've experienced kind of the good and the bad and the ugly with Memphis State, now the University of Memphis, and Florida State, because that's still a record. That's a Florida State record. That's probably an ACC record now. And I don't know who else has thrown 6 in a first half in a Division I. Timmy can probably look it up. But that happened as well in a Memphis State, Florida State game. Now,
I think we might have some more history making this weekend as FSU falls to 0-3.
I don't know.
And loses.
I mean, my God, if they don't pull it together here and win this, are we at DEFCON 1?
He's going to play DJU again and stick with this.
And Memphis has got a quarterback, Seth Hennigan. Seth Hennigan can throw the football, and they have speedy weapons. This could be a problem if FSU can't score, can't hold them down and can't score.
They can't stop the run.
I still am having a PTSD flashback of Peter Tom Willis dropping back, and the FSU offensive line lets 5 people go in the backfield, and he floats it over them to Amp Lee, your boy Amp Lee. And Amp Lee has got one lonely Memphis guy on that side of the field with 5 blockers coming at him while he runs for one of those 6 touchdowns. I'm having the shakes and the shivers thinking back to Peter Tom Willis.
Oh, back in the days when we used to blow out teams like Memphis State and Boston College.
God.
Yeah,
I don't know about the first half, but on November 17th, 1990, David Klingler threw for 11 touchdown passes in the entire game in an 84-21 win over Eastern Washington.
So logic would dictate he had to have at least 6.5, if not 7 or more and a half. Who knows if it was the first half? And Klingler and Houston were always running it up on everybody.
They were that run and shoot. Yeah, they had that.
But I'm telling you, PT in 1989, November of '89, had 6 in the first half.
I remember that.
The first half.
It says that he scored a touchdown pass or threw a touchdown pass on his first 6 possessions. So that probably.
For Klingler, you're talking about.
For Klingler, yeah. So there you go.
Man, oh man.
Well, TJ, thank you for stopping by. And now you got to go to Detroit, where your ears are probably still ringing from the last.
Yes, from all that a year ago. This is going to be a fascinating game because the Buccaneers obviously have a revenge mode. Detroit is good, loud environment. Going to be a lot of fun to be up there. I will report back, my friend, next week with you. On all of it, yeah.
You will be starting at safety, or
I don't know. I mean, at this point, we'll wait for the Bucs to say what the situation is with Winfield, but it doesn't sound good.
He's out.
Who can do cover corner here at this point? Do they bring somebody in like we were theorizing the other night? This is it's up in the air.
At least you're playing a game on the road that you were, I hate to say this, but probably going to lose anyway. So if you got to get 1 week out where you don't have any corners and no safety, and he's going to miss. Okay, fine. It was going to be an L anyway. So, timing's not bad. And
again, Detroit beat you up with your healthy complement of defensive backs a couple of times last year in the pass game. So let's see what it looks like for this week, and I'll be back with you next week, and we'll go over all of it.
That's why they play the games. Thanks, TJ. Appreciate it, brother.
Always great to be with you, my friend.
Podcast. Go take a listen. It's awesome. I retweeted it. Go there. All right, real quick. My friend James here, as we get to some of your commenters, thank you guys so much for jumping in. I'm sorry we didn't get to you earlier. Says, not smart to create division on a Bucs team with who was RB1. Rashad lost 15 yards on 3 carries. Not trying to create a division, James. We're just speculating, having a little fun. Who should get more carries? And it's good to have that competition. It's good to have a rookie that's going to.
They can both be RB1.
Yeah. Donald Podzakowski. What's up, Donald? Good to see you. Rashad was second in receiving with more yards than Evans. Nobody's dumping on Rashad. I love Shad. Love us some Shad. It's just great to see that there's someone to give him some help so he doesn't have to carry the load the entire time, which is good. Rick says Liam Cohen was the best free agent signing this year. I do not think you are wrong, my friend. Absolutely. I mean, Jordan Whitehead was great, but Liam Cohen is directing an offense I think can be absolutely incredible. Tyreek Hill was pulled over for child support warrant? No. He was going fast. Rick says, do all these athletes have their agents drew on call like an OnStar button? OnStar, what's your emergency?
Yes.
Strip club or police?
Yes, they do.
I think they do.
Drew was in the building. I mean, he was already at the stadium. He was supposed to be. He
was already on ESPN.
Yeah.
And not mentioning that Tyreek was in any way disrespectful to the police. And Tyreek didn't remember it either. He didn't remember he was disrespectful for the police. And still with the body cam footage out, evidently no one at ESPN knows that he was disrespectful for the cops, which is shocking to develop. We're just saying report the whole story. The entire day yesterday, they had the body cam footage that they could have talked about, but they never mentioned it. Not once. Like, why can't you just report both sides of the story and not have an agenda?
NFL Network was all over it this morning on Good Morning Football. They showed it 4 or 5 times, and they all said the same exact things we did just now.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of fault to go around. The cops didn't need to be that overzealous. But again, if you don't listen to the cops and you multiple times do not do what they ask you to do, bad things are going to happen. What should the cop do? Just sit there and hang out while your window's down until you decide to get out? Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, sir. I'll wait till you're done with your call to your agent. Would you like to put your window down now? Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Is that what the cop is supposed to do? I don't think
ridiculous.
So. Christopher Call, who said earlier in the comments that the officer should be fired after watching the body cam footage, said, I changed my statement and Hill acted entitled. He did. He did. I don't think you need to be throwing him on the ground, but I think we could de-escalate, but how about we not have to escalate at all? How about you just do what the cop asks you to do? That's the way this is supposed to work, folks. If you want cops to be out there protecting you, which is kind of needed these days, you got to go by the protocol. We all know what the rules are. Do what they say, and we'll figure it out later if you don't like it. But I guarantee this, if he kept his window down and was cooperative, he would not have ended up on the ground.
Nope.
I can guarantee you that.
We wouldn't even be talking about it right now.
It wouldn't even be taught. He'd get wouldn't even be a story.
We might have a different story because he might still be on video of look how cooperative Tyreek Hill was with the cops. There's a lesson for everybody.
Yeah. James with a mea culpa as well. Yeah. How do you guys not see the body cam? How do you not see it?
It's all over the place.
Before you make a statement, not chastise. Well, I guess I am chastising you guys. What media are you consuming where you could not see the body cam? It's everywhere. Oh, just ESPN? Oh, just CNN? Oh, of course.
Oops.
Yeah. That's why we have the problems we have, folks. If you're watching media that doesn't give you everything, yeah. All right. That'll do it for today's show. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for commenting. We love you all. Don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, The JP Peterson Show and FanStream Sports. Check out all the different FanStream Sports shows we got, including Timmy's own show with Colby. It's always great. The golf show, the Jeff Titoff show, all kinds of Cowboys coverage. Check that out on fanstreamsports.com. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.